What's up, traders? This is Tim from Volatility Trading. We're going to go over the top 10 plays right off the scanners from this past week. Let's get to it. All right, so just like last time, these are in no particular order. We're just going to start from the beginning of the week and move our way towards Friday. So we're going to start at number 10 here on OESX. So as you guys can see, this one was a beaut. Set a pre-market high here at $3.60. Kind of died off, fell to pretty much where she closed the Friday before. And she's kind of climbed her way back up very slowly, pretty much on no volume, and she decided to make a nice little pop here. And she went up to the 350 area, got denied, made a lower high, and then she just completely dumped off. And this thing went all the way down to 267, all the way from 350. What a better way to start your week. All right, so coming in at number 9, this stock was just absolutely crazy all week. ALLK, right out of the gate though, actually in pre-market I should say, she gave us a nice big intense move down after the gap up, giving you an opportunity if you're a pre-market player to really kind of take a long position here and scoop it up, because she did not look back. So I mean, if you got in on this candle towards the lows of 48.50, this thing just went and went and went. Now on the short side of things, every once in a while it started kind of climbing away, getting extended, and then it would get a nice big push towards the end of these extensions. And that's what you're looking for when you're going short, especially with the intense moves right off the scanner. And sure enough, as you can see, this candle's bigger than all these other ones. It's kind of grinding, then bam, intense move. That's where you would look to get short. And sure enough, she makes a big move down. The high here, 65, comes all the way down to 58.90. I mean, just big moves. And then she kind of consolidates, wants to go higher, breaks high of day on a very intense move. So even if you got short here, the high was 69. She does end up getting all the way up to 70. That's where risk management comes into play. But this is, if you're playing this kind of range of a stock, and you got in anywhere on these two candles, you're kind of looking good. You're expecting this, and then sure enough, you got a nice big move all the way back down under 65. Just beautiful plays on both sides here. Long, you had two amazing short opportunities, and then again, you also had another long opportunity here. You probably wouldn't have stuck with this one though, but you had the big intense move. After this big intense move up, you had a big intense move down. She got down to 64.44, and she did get back up to almost 67. She got the 9 at 67. So I mean, the range on this thing was just incredible. So big moves on both sides, and hopefully you guys took advantage of it. Coming in at number 8, MNK. This thing was just absolutely amazing on both sides as well. Right at the bell, gives you a huge washout. Looking to get long here, anywhere down in the 620, 630 area. If you scoop this thing up, she gave you a move all the way up to 684 pretty instantly. This was all within this 1-2 minute candle. So plenty of opportunity there. And look how intense this move was going up. It went from one scanner right to the other scanner. So guys, no matter which side you're playing, this stock gave you opportunity right out of the gate to get long. And then look at this huge intense move to get short, going right to those pre-market highs and just falling off from there. Big opportunity there for number 8, MNK. All right, coming in at number 7, ENDP. This thing just gave you a move right at 9:30, right at the bell, gave you that $3 whole pop, went all the way up to 311, and she just washed out. What a beautiful pop and drop right at the bell. Just a nice intense move up into the big move down. She consolidates and just keeps continuing. Consolidates, continues. Just what a beautiful move. If you got in on this and had some shares left to ride, and you kind of set a trailing stop, or you just kind of let them go until a certain point, just keep lowering your stop, man, what a move down. Hopefully you guys caught this one. I didn't personally, but a lot of guys with Team ISW did, and hopefully you did too. Coming in at number 6, OMI. This thing right at the bell didn't really get a lot of volume, but it did make a nice intense move. If you had any part of this, you're doing pretty well. This thing got up to 375. She came up, didn't quite get high a day again, made a lower high, and she completely flushed off. And this is a big intense move down. So not only are you getting your short play, she popped right up on the other scanner, giving you this long play. 333 was the low here, so even if you got anywhere in this general area, yes, longs take longer, and as you can see, this thing just climbed all day, giving you plenty of opportunity to get out, as this was pretty much the low of day. And what more can you ask for? I mean, man, the scanner just absolutely killed it this week. All right, coming in at number 5, WKHS. This one actually didn't make its move until later in the day. As you can see, it just kind of grinded on not a lot of volume. But as you can see, later in the day, around 1:30 in the afternoon Eastern time, this thing really started to kind of get some volume, and she started to make big moves. As you can see, look at the candles here, and then look at these candles. It started to make some big moves, and sure enough, she made a nice intense move up here towards the top. Topped out 375. The alert was at 369, so it was on this candle. And sure enough, she comes down, little bouncy ball action, makes a lower high, and she just continues. And then look at this, she can consolidates into a little bit of a, you can call it a flag, descending triangle, whatever you want to call it, but it was part of a downtrend. She comes down even further, just giving you plenty of opportunity here. Gets down to that 350 area, all the way up from 375. So just another killer trade right off the scanner. All right, coming in at number 4, ATNX. This was a scoop play right at the bell. This thing just completely flushed out. If you had some good risk management here and you played the fake out accordingly, this thing rewarded you. Look at this huge intense move. She tries to come up, and then she kind of gets shoved down, a little bit of a fake out under this 1275 area. She actually got down to 1244. So you could have got shooken out there, but hopefully you didn't, because this thing eventually worked and got all the way up to 1429. Just a killer move here before she eventually comes down. Still makes a higher low and just continues. And look at these intense moves, guys. Just absolutely insane. So you could have played this on the short side. Wouldn't really look to play this myself. Maybe on this one, just because it was such a quick move. She gives you opportunity to get out, and then look at this intense move. This was, an absolute beauty. Goes, I guess it's technically not high of day until a little bit later in the move. But I was going to say right here, but she curls up, and then she decides to make this big move, and look at the volume. It made it on no volume, so that's even better. Knowing that it's a really quick move on not a lot of volume, so that means the trend is probably super weak, and sure enough, it comes right back down and gives us a beautiful short. So scooped right here at the bell, and if you were looking later in the day, you got a nice intense move here right around lunchtime, and these things are just amazing. Just sometimes just to watch them. All right, traders, number 3, GTT. This thing was a great scoop right at the bell. A nice washout. As you can see, she started to make smaller red candles here after the big intense move. Perfect reason to scoop it up as she kind of stalls out, and she rewarded you. So if you got in anywhere on this candle, 525 to 490, this thing ends up going before making a pullback all the way up to 689. Just an absolutely beautiful scoop there. And hopefully you guys caught it. On to the next one. All right, traders, number 2, WTRH. As you can see, this thing gave us opportunities on both sides as well. A big washout right at the bell, looking to scoop this thing up. She gets down to a low 176 and comes all the way back up to 253 on a huge move, looking to use that $0.50 as resistance. Huge move up. $0.50 resistance, gets shot right back down. Just beautiful. Both sides, scoop into a short, And look at this thing just kind of fade all the way until lunchtime. She actually gives you another move over here, but that's, not exactly the intense move we're looking for. Maybe later in the day here on some volume, if we want to scoot in towards end of day. If you're looking for these end of day plays on volume, this thing makes a pretty big move all the way from down here. It was kind of consolidating around that 180 area, makes a move all the way up over to, uses that whole dollar as a resistance point, pokes through, gets rejected, and ends up right before the bell getting all the way down to 186. Just another good play, a couple good plays throughout the day on WTRH. Can't talk tonight. And what fitting stock to end this week with no other than RKDA. This thing absolutely came out of nowhere on Friday, and look at what it did right around 10 o'clock. Just in general, if you scoop this thing up at the bell and you were patient enough to hold this thing, she did kind of give you a little bit of fake out coming down if you scooped it here. So you should have gotten stopped out here probably with proper risk management. But as you can see, she got rejected from VWAP and shot down on another intense move. If you're looking for the scoop here and you're pretty patient with it, she starts to form some support down here, and look at the move you got for being patient. She starts to make higher lows on the way up, and once you saw this happening, you just knew something like this was coming, and right into a halt. Right out of the halt, it goes up even higher. There was a lot of people on Twitter that were trying to short this thing. And the thing is, this is an intense move, but this was such a quick move that it was pretty much halted. So it really wasn't a way to kind of get stuck in this halt short unless you were watching it already. So if you got in anywhere like up in here over the $4, the whole dollar break, gave you opportunity to get out all the way down to 364. Came up again if you wanted to stop out, or you're looking to add to your position on this thing, got all the way up to 428, comes all the way back down to 364. Just so many intense moves up and down on this thing. It was a low floater. It traded its float a ton if you look down at the volume. Just what a crazy stock with tons of opportunity. But obviously when you have something that's rotating its float, you should be a little bit long biased. That's just my personal preference. But man, oh man, if you got this scoop down here, saw it making support and coming up, look at this move. Even if you only got like somewhere in the middle here, even around like $3, looking for that break right here of this candle, 306. So if you got somewhere around 306, she got halted at 351, ends up coming out of the halt, going all the way up to 406. Just a beautiful move here on RKDA to close out the week. Hopefully you guys had a great week. Again, this is Tim from Volatility Trading. I got my own channel if you want to check that out. That'll be down in the description below. And until next week's top 10, I'll talk to you later. Peace.